First play I'm looking at tonight is going to be Gordon Hayward. We're looking at his points. His prop is 15.5. See a projection here of 21.52 points. That's a pretty huge projection over the line. Let's look at this a little bit more closely. As you can see, Haywood has smashed his prop 7 out of 10 times in his last 10 games. He's playing a defense, New York Knicks, that is decent. You know, points allowed, they're one of the better. When you see red over here, that means the defense is good. See green, defense is bad. Yellow, defense is neutral. So you can see their categories over here. 3 points allowed, they're pretty bad against, but again, for points allowed, they're good. Field goal percentage allowed, they're good. Against a small forward, they're one of the worst in the league. And as you can see, Haywood has played New York one time this year. He had 21 points, and that game was in New York. Let's look at his away. Away, he's only hit this mark 2 out of 10 times. So it seems to me he plays good against New York, but he doesn't really achieve this number on the road. So you got to take all that into consideration. How you think the game is going to play out. New York is favored by 10 over here, but Haywood is someone I'm looking at tonight. Second player I'm looking at is coming from the opposite end of the spectrum for points, and we're looking at Tyus Jones, Memphis at the Lakers. He's minus 130 to go over 15.5 points. And let's look at him. Moran is still out, so he's going to be starting. His prop last game was 14.5. I had him than the last game. I thought he would go over, which he did. He only had 5 points in the first half and came back and had 20 points in the second half. 15.5, he's pretty heavy favorite. You can see the over, minus 125 here to go over. Playing a defense that's not that good. I don't see why he can't get 15.5 again. I would like it to be around 14.5 like it was last game, but Jones is still someone to consider for tonight. Maybe even for the under. We just have to look at it more, see which way we're going to go on this one. Let's go to, we're going to look at assist. And for assist, we're going to look at Stephen Curry against Oklahoma, OKC. The game is in OKC. His prop on the night is 5.5. The projection is 6.99 assists. Pretty heavy favorite to go under. 2 straight games, he's went over this prop of 5.5. I think his first game back was a couple days ago, and then prior to that, before he was out, he went over 5.5 assists. So let's look at his numbers. As you can see, in his last 10 games played, he's smashed his mark 6 out of 10 times, including his last 2 games. Against OKC, he had 12 assists on 1/30th of this year. It's just allowed OKC's middle of the road against point guard defense. They're one of the better in the league. I'm thinking Curry's going to be more aggressive this game scoring wise, for sure. It's his second game back off an injury, just trying to get back in the groove of things. I think he only had, let's see how many points he had last game. Yeah, well, he actually had 27 points last game. I still think he's going to be more aggressive, trying to get his legs back under him. Assist wise, good chance to get the 6 and get the 5.5, but we'll see. We need to do a little bit more research. Golden State's favored by 4 on the road. I think this game is going to be close. Golden State's not a good road team, and of course, Curry is going to try to get everybody involved. Pretty heavy favorite to go under, but we'll look at this one a little bit more. See which way we're going to go on it. Let's go. We're going to look at assist also again, and we're going to go to the opposite hand here, and we're going to look at Kevin Porter Jr. 5.5 assists. projection of 3.47, minus 150 to go under. And I think the Prizepicks line is actually 5. So let's look at him at 5. Prizepicks trying to entice us to make a bet on this one. At 5, he's beat this mark 4 out of 7 times in his last 10 games. Shooting guard defense, Brooklyn's not that great. Assists allowed, they are one of the better teams in the league. No games against Brooklyn this year. He had 13 assists in his last game, which is a lot for Porter Jr. Let's see what kind of game he had. He had 4 rebounds. He had 19 points, 13 assists in his last game. So if he's continuing on that trend, of course, you got to look at the over. I say he's a pretty heavy favorite to go under. So take everything into consideration. We'll look more at Porter and see which way we're going to go on him also. Now let's go to rebounds. And we're going to look at Brook Lopez. His prop on the night is 6.5. See a projection here of 8.9. Let's look at Lopez a little bit closer at rebounds. He's killed his prop 6 out of 10 times in his last 10 games, but in his last 3, he's went under 6.5. Playing a decent defense tonight when it comes to rebounds, or he's playing Orlando. As you can see, Orlando's rebounds allowed, they're one of the better teams in the league. Offensive rebounds allowed, they're one of the better teams in the league. So this is one you got to look at closely. His last game against Orlando, he had 3. So prop is 6.5. So got to take all this into consideration. Just he's favored minus 125 to go over, but to me, he's trending the other way. Last 3 games hasn't got over 6.5, playing a decent defense. And the matchups against his defense this year, he only had 3 rebounds. So, okay. And last player we're looking at is going to be, I'm going to look at Julius Randle. His line on the night is 10.5. We actually get the line on Prizepicks at 10. As you can see, his projection is 6.5. Let's look a little bit more into this. So let's push this up to 10. He's only went over 10 rebounds in 1 out of his last 8 games. Not a good hit rate at all. But the team he is playing, one of the worst in every statistical category when it comes to center and rebounds. He only had 6.5. He's averaged 6.5. But in his last 2 games against Charlotte, he had 6 and he had 7 rebounds. 1 game in Charlotte, 1 game in New York. So to me, still the under's pretty much in play to me on this one, but we need to look at it a little bit more. Very heavy favorite to go over. I think the under is still in play on this one. So those are a few picks that I like. Go ahead and like, subscribe. You can get my premium plays over on Patreon. That's all I have for today. Until the next video. Peace.